What's up? My name is Simon, and in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to create your own beautiful looking website from complete scratch using the website builder WIX. So this is a complete and detailed WIX tutorial for absolute beginners. So even if you don't know anything about building a website, after watching and following along with this tutorial, you'll have your own professional website up and running. In my opinion, the easiest way to learn how to use this website builder is to simply build your own website and learn everything along the way. And by using this video kind of as a guide, it will definitely shorten your learning curve and get you to your website a lot quicker. And like I said, we're going to start from complete scratch by signing up for a new WIX account. Then we're going to choose a theme for our website, customize everything to the way we want it to look like, and afterwards we're going to publish our website. So this is going to be a bit of a longer video, so I'm going to leave all the timestamps down below in the video description, and you can just also hover over the progress bar of the video and jump around to any part that you want to. So let's not waste any time and get started right away. Alright, so I'm already here on the WIX website where you can get started creating a new WIX account. And by the way, a free way you can support me and my YouTube channel is to simply use the first link down below in the video description, which is my personal referral link for WIX, which means that when you use that link and then sign up for a new account and then eventually go for a paid plan, then I will get a commission from that at no additional cost to you, which is basically how I'm able to make these free tutorials for you. Also, if you're watching this from a mobile phone, you can also just type in madixmedia.com/WIX, and then you also go through my personal referral link. So if you use that link, that would be highly appreciated, but if not, that's okay as well. So depending on when you watch this video, this website might look a bit different for you because WIX oftentimes changes around the design of their homepage. But at some place there should be a button saying get started or sign up or something like that. So just find that button. For me, it's right here, and then click on the button and then you'll get to the sign up page that you see right here. So here to sign up for a new account, all we have to do is type in our email address, decide on a password, or you could also just use your Facebook account or your Google account to sign up for WIX. So do that and then click on sign up. And then here on the next step, WIX is going to ask you a couple of questions about what kind of website you want to build. You don't have to answer those questions if you don't want to, because there's a button that says skip on the bottom right of your screen. But it's going to make it easier for you to find the right template for what kind of website you want to build. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to go through it. So I'm going to click on let's do it right here. So I want to create a site for, let's say, myself. And it should be a, let's say, a business site, and I've never done this before. And then we'll get to the next step. And then here we can decide if we want to use the WIX ADI to create our website, which is some kind of artificial intelligence that is building your website automatically. So all we would have to do is give them a logo, some colors that we like, and also the text that we want to have on our website. And then this computer program will design the website for us. Or we can use the WIX website editor and design everything ourselves from a specific template. Now, you can experiment with this WIX ADI editor, but what I actually recommend is to use the WIX editor, which is what we're going to do in this tutorial, because that way we have full control over our website. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. So I'm going to choose a template right here on the right side. And that will take us to the next step, which is where we're going to have to choose a template for our new website. So because I've told them before that I want to build a website for a business, it has already pre-selected all the business website templates for me. Depending on what you've answered before here, this might look different for you. For example, if you have typed in, I want to build a website for sports and fitness, it's going to show you these templates right here. So you can always change around the templates that you see right here by just going to this drop-down menu and then choosing the sector that you want to build a website for. If you don't find what you're looking for here, you can always go to the top right and click on the search bar here and just type in what the kind of website you want to build. For example, something special would be maybe a sushi restaurant. And let's see if there's some templates for that. And they actually do have some Japanese restaurant templates like this. So once you find a template that you like, you can always check it out further by just going to view right here. And then you see a preview of this specific website. You can also go to view full demo right here. And then in a new tab, it will open up a preview of this website. You can also scroll down, use all the features. You can click on different tabs right here. Let's click on the About tab and see kind of the structure of this website. Now, if you don't like the colors or the font or something like that, then don't worry too much, because we can change all of that later on in the actual editor, which is what I'm going to show you later in the tutorial. Now, what I would do is also go to the top left here and click on the mobile phone here, because there you can also see what this specific template looks like on a mobile screen, which is very important nowadays because a lot of traffic comes from mobile phones nowadays. So make sure eventually that your website also looks good on a mobile phone. So let's close out of this tab right now and actually find a template that we like. So for this tutorial, I was looking for a very basic template. So what I'm going to go with is business and consulting business website. And I'm going to choose this one right here. So business consulting company. I'm going to click on edit, and that will take me directly into the Wix website editor. Great, so now we are inside of the Wix website editor, where we're going to start to build out our website and do all the design changes so that our website will eventually look like exactly what we want to have. So this is kind of a drag and drop website builder. So each element that you see right here, you can simply click on it, drag it around, put it in a place that you want to have it. And you can also simply click on the elements, change the text, change the colors, change the fonts. So it's kind of really an intuitive way of building and changing around your website. So I'm going to give you a quick overview over this interface that you see right here. I'm not going to go too much in detail because most of the tools and the features that we're going to use in this video, you're going to learn while using them anyway. So to make this tutorial not too boring, I'm going to just skip over a lot of things that I think are not that important and that I think we're going to learn anyway later on in the tutorial. So the first thing that you have to know here is on the top left, you can see this little drop-down menu right here where you see page, and you can see right now we are on the home page. This is where you can change between each of the pages on your website. So by default, this template has a home page, it has an about page, a services page, a products page, and so on. So if you want to change from the home page to the about page, we simply click on the drop-down menu right here, go to the about page, and then it will switch our editor to the about page. And then here we can make all the changes that we want to make. And then once we're done, we can click again here and go back to the home page. So this is going to be a feature that you're going to use a lot while building out your website. And then right here, you can also switch from the desktop editor over to the mobile editor. So normally we do all the content work and all the changes to our website here on the desktop editor. And then once we're done with our site, we're going to go over to the mobile editor right here and make sure everything looks good on mobile as well. Now, usually you're not going to have to do a lot here because Wix is pretty good at optimizing your content for mobile already. So normally there's not a lot you need to change, but sometimes something gets messed up and you're going to have to come in here and change some things around. But normally you're going to spend most of the time here on the desktop editor. Then here on the top right, you have the save button to manually save your website when you do some changes. And the autosave feature is on, so you don't actually have to manually save your website all the time because the changes should be saved on autopilot. Then you also have the view site history button right here, which is very useful if at some point you mess up and you want to restore a previous version of your website. Just click on view site history and then you can restore a previous part or previous version of your website like that. Then you also have the preview button right here, which when you click on it, you can see how your website currently looks like as a visitor. You can also click on different pages on your website right here and kind of navigate through them to see if everything looks exactly how you want it to look like. And then you can go back to editor right here and then it takes you back inside of the website editor. Now the publish button is what we're going to use after we have completed our website and we're actually ready to publish our website. Then this undo, this redo button is something that you're probably going to use a lot. Then you also have the zoom out and reorder option here, which is something that is very useful because this allows you to see your website from a kind of larger perspective, which also enables you to see the structure of your website. So mostly a website is going to have a header right here, a footer here on the bottom, and then these sections here in the middle, which basically make out your content. So these sections that you see right here on Wix are called strips. So this would be a strip right here, which is kind of the hero section. Then you're going to have a strip right here, and then the about us strip, and then also a contact us strip. Now, if you want to move these around right here, it's very easy. Just go to these little arrows right here. So we can move this one down. We can move it up again. We can also duplicate different sections by clicking here and then start designing it from kind of use this as a template. You can also delete different sections. So this is a very useful feature that I use to kind of get a larger, a macro view of my website and move things around, especially when I have a long or a page that is very long. So then you can always go to exit mode, and then it will take you back inside of this editor right here. Now, then we have the tools right here, which is pretty much set up nice by default. I would just make sure to have the snap to objects feature on right here, because it will make it a lot easier to move things around and align them on your website. And then I usually turn off this toolbar right here because I'm actually not really using it a lot when I'm building websites here on Wix. So I just turn that off so I have a cleaner view here of my website. And then here on the left side of the editor, we're going to have the tools that we're going to use a lot to build out our website and change all the designs. So for example, you have the menu and pages option here to change around all the menus and the pages. You're going to have the theme manager here where you can change the fonts and also the colors. So I don't want to go too much in each of these tools right now because, like I said, learning by doing, we're going to go through the most important ones over the course of this tutorial, and then you're going to see exactly how this works. So the first thing that we're going to look at is how to change the colors of our website, so the color theme, and also the font of the text on our website. So to do that, we're going to go to the left side toolbar here and click on Theme Manager. And here we're going to actually start with the colors, so make sure colors is selected right here. And you can see by default, this is the current color theme. So we have a white, a blue, a gray, a green, and a yellow. Now you can manually change all of these colors individually by just scrolling down and then go to Edit Color, and then you can just choose whatever color you want here, and it's automatically going to also change different shades of that color that you have selected. Now this is one way you can go. Or you could also just click on Change Theme completely and then choose a default theme that they have already set up for this specific website. So for example, let's maybe choose this theme right here. And then you can just check out how it looks like, close out of this, then go to Preview and see how your website currently looks like with this new color theme. You can also go to different websites here, different pages, and see how this looks like and see if you like it. Now, another option you can do is you can go to a website called coolers.co. I'm going to leave a link down below in the description. And then this is basically a website that's automatically generating a color palettes for you. So colors that fit together very well. So if you need some inspiration, you can just click on Start Generator right here. And then it will automatically generate different colors that fit together very nicely. So you can have this color theme on your website. So when you find colors that you like, you can simply go to select color right here, copy this code, just right click copy, and then go back to your website editor, go to Theme Manager, and then you would have to change each color individually again. So we're going to go to, let's say, this color. We're going to go to this color code right here, right click, paste, and then it will paste the color that we have copied from here into this color that you see right here. So this would be an option as well to kind of have more options that Wix is giving you here. But just play around with it a little bit and then find the color theme that works the best for your brand. So I'm actually pretty happy with this theme that I've chosen right here. So now I'm going to move on to the text. So I'm going to go to text right here, and then it will open up the text options. So here we can see that we have different heading types, which is just different sizes of headings on our website, and also different paragraphs. And by default, the font of our heading on this theme is Railway, and the default font on our paragraphs is Open Sans. Now, I would just keep it so that all the headings have the same font and all the paragraphs have also the same font. I would keep it at 2 fonts for your website, maybe 3 at a max. If you have the more fonts you have for your website, the longer it will take for your website to load, which will also be a worse user experience and also decrease the rankings on Google. So I wouldn't really have too many fonts on your website. So if you would want to change your font to maybe another one that you like, you can just click on the heading and then change it from Railway to something else right here. But again, if you do that for a heading, make sure you do it for all the other headings as well, so that you have a similar style across your website. All right, so let's now look at how we can change the main background of each of the pages on our website and also the background of each of the strips here on each page. Let's talk about the main background first. And to illustrate that, I'm going to switch from the home page to the About page. So here, to change the background, the main background of this page, we're going to have to go to the left side toolbar and click on Background right here. So here, the default color for our background here is currently set to a white. Now you can simply change the color by clicking on Color right here, and then all your theme colors that we have set up before will actually come up, and you can choose each of these colors right here. And you can also directly see how this change affects how your website currently looks like. You can also use custom colors if you want to add a color here on the bottom. And let's, for example, choose this yellow right here. So let's close out of this, and then this would be how our website currently looks like. Now let's actually switch from the About page to the Services page, for example. And now I notice that the background here is still white and not yellow the way I actually want it to be. And that's because we didn't actually apply our background changes to all of the other pages. So let's go back to the About page, click on Background again, and now when we actually like this background, what we can do is just click on Apply to Other Pages here on the bottom, and then click on All Pages right here, and that will apply this background to all of the pages across our entire website to make everything look the same way. So when we close out of this again, when we switch now to Services right here, then we can see we have the same kind of background. Now, to be honest, I don't actually like this color. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change it again. So again, I'm going to go to Background right here. And now instead of changing to a color, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to an image right here. So I'm going to click on Image. And then we could either upload an image from our computer, or we could also choose a media from the WIX media library right here. So you can just type in some keyword here on the top. Let's type in consulting, because this is a website for a consulting business. And let's see what actually comes up. So let's, for example, just take this image. Click on Change Background, and then this image will be put in here into this background. But it doesn't really make the text readable anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back to the background menu, go to Settings right here. And what I can do now is either change the opacity right here, and then the background image color will actually kind of shine through. Or what I could also do is maybe change the background image color, change it back to white to just make the opacity a little bit lower and kind of fade it into white. Maybe make this 10. And now we have a little bit of a transparent image here in the background, but you can still read the text pretty nicely. So again, if I want to apply that to all of the pages, we have to go to Background, go to Apply to Other Pages on the bottom left, and then click on All Pages, and then again, it will be applied to all of the other pages. So again, let's go to the About page to see if it actually worked, and there we go, the background is also available right here. Now let's actually switch to the home page right here. And there we notice that we don't really see the background that we have just changed it to. And that's because each of the strip that you see here on the home page has its own background. Now, if you would want to change that, you could just click on the strip right here, click on Change Strip Background, and then this menu will open up. So if you want to have the main background kind of shine through in this strip, you can click on Settings, lower the opacity right here, and then you can see the background kind of lightly shines through because it's not really saturated because we have lowered the opacity so much. What you can also do is just simply change the color of the background of only this strip. So now we're talking about changing the background of each strip on your page. So again, click on Change Strip Background. We can again change it to a color right here. We could change it maybe to another image, or we could also change it to a video. So maybe for the hero section right here, we could just click on Change Strip Background, click on Video right here. Let's maybe click on this one here, change background. And now I have a video here as a background. When I click on Preview here on the top right, I can see that this is actually a video right now. So I'm actually going to change this again to a photo. So let's again click on the strip, click Change Strip Background, click on Image. And again, you can also use your own images, of course, by just uploading media. I'm actually going to use this image right here. Click on Change Background, and there we go. I'm just going to use this image right here as a strip background here for this hero image. Cool, so now that we have our basics already set up, like colors, fonts, and background, we can move on to actually add some content to our website or just change around the content that is set up here by default. So the first thing that I would do is actually upload the media to Wix, so all your photos, all your videos, which will down the line save you a lot of time so you don't have to manually upload it every time you want to add like an image or a logo or something like that. So to do that, we go to the left side here, click on Media, then we're going to scroll all the way down and we're going to click on Upload Media. And then what you can do is click on Upload from Computer and just select all the files, or you can just drag it in, whatever works for you. I actually already have uploaded some files here that I'm going to use in this tutorial. So once you have done that, you can just close out of this window right here and we can start adding some content. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do some changes to the header right here and also to the footer here on the bottom, because the header and the footer is what's visible on each single page on your website. This is what's going to make it easy for your visitors to navigate through your page, because every time they're going to see the menu here on the top and also your logo where they can go, where they can click on and get back to your homepage. So let's start by changing the logo here on the top left. So this right here is a text element. And what I want to do is actually have my logo as a PNG. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just delete this text element by right-clicking, clicking on delete right here. And then this text element is gone. Now I'm going to add a new element. So what I'm going to do is go to the left side toolbar here, go to Add. And now you have tons of different things you can add to your website. Now, what I would recommend is on your own time, just go through each of these elements right here to really see what's actually possible to put on your website. There's a lot of already design templates that you can use. So you can simply change out the images and it already looks kind of very beautifully. It looks very good. And what I'm going to do here is simply add an image, because that's what my logo is. So I'm going to click on image right here, image. And then it's already taking me to my uploads. And so I'm going to click on my image uploads, and then it will open up my upload library. What I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this white logo right here, click on add to page on the bottom right, and that will add my logo here in the middle of my page. Now, obviously, this is way too big right now. So what I can do is simply go to these edges of the logo and simply drag this down a little bit to make it smaller, maybe like this. And then because it's drag and drop, I can simply click and hold, and let's drag it here on the top in the header. So as you can see, these little magenta lines right here, these kind of help you to align your elements so that it just kind of keeps the symmetry on your website, which makes everything look very nice. So I'm just going to put it right here. And I think this looks pretty good. Now, what I also want to do is I want to make this logo be a link which directly goes back to my homepage. So whenever somebody clicks on this logo, it will take them back to the homepage. So what I'm going to do is go to the menu here of this element, click on this link icon right here, and then you have different options. So you can link to a different web address, so it will go to another website, or you could maybe choose an anchor, you could choose a document, an email address. So there's a lot of possibilities. In my case, I simply want to link it back to the homepage. So I'm going to choose page right here, and it already has set this to homepage, and it should open it in the current window as well. So that's fine. I'm going to click done. And then I also like to test out things when I have done something and when I've set something up. So I'm going to click on preview here on the top right, and then it will open up my website. So I'm going to click on the about page here, and now I'm going to click on the logo and see if it takes me back to the home page. So right now it works perfect. So I can go back to the editor right here. So let's now look at how we can actually edit this top menu right here. So how can we add new pages, how we can move around these pages and actually delete pages right here. So the way we do that is we go to the left side toolbar, click on menus and pages, and then this will open up. So here, the first thing you can do is simply move around the order of these pages. So for example, if you would want to have the projects here in the first spot, we could simply go here and drag the projects up here, and then the projects will come up first. Now, what you can also do is simply add a new page by going down here, clicking on add new page, and then a new page will be added to the top menu and also to the pages of your website. We can give that page a name. So for example, let's name it our team. Click on done. And as you can see, the Our Team page is now in the top menu. Now, when you create a new page, it will also be accessible right here through this drop-down menu. You can just click on Our Team, and then this new empty page will show up. And later on in the video, I will show you how to add new content to this specific page. So let's go back to our home page and actually keep editing our menu. So for example, for our new Our Team page, we are still working on that page and we don't want people to actually see it in the top menu and actually be able to navigate to it. So what we're going to do is simply we're going to hide this page. And we can do that by simply going here, going to the three dots, clicking on hide right here. And this will still enable us to work on our page, but it will be actually hidden in this top menu so people can't actually go to it. If you, for some reason, want to delete the entire page, simply go to the three dots again, scroll all the way down and click on delete right here. Now, on some of the website templates, you also have this little login bar right here, which is specifically for websites where you're going to have a members area and then people can actually sign up for an account on your website. If you don't want to have that option, what you can do is either simply remove that login bar by clicking right click and then click on delete. But what I actually like to do is simply go to the menus and pages and then delete all the member pages altogether if I don't want to have a website where there's going to be a members area. I'm simply going to go to the gear icon, click on delete members area, then confirm here, and then this login bar will automatically be deleted. Now I can actually move this then to the right side because I have a little more space here in the top navigation bar. And always make sure to not go past this line right here, because if I set it like this, then the menu might not be displayed on every type of screen size. So I'm going to make sure to keep inside of these main two lines right here. So these lines here, and then I'm going to be fine. So another thing we can look at actually is the transitions of the different pages. So how the effect will look like when people go to different pages on your website. So we can again go to the menus and pages tool here, and then go to page transitions right here. And here you have a couple of different effects. So by default it's set to out and in, which basically looks like this here. You can also switch it to horizontal, and then it will kind of slide in from the right side. I usually keep it at crossfade or at out in because I think that looks more professional. So that's basically how we can edit our header and also the navigation menu right here. And like I said, the header and the footer will be visible on each single page of our website. And we can actually also change how the header will be displayed on each page. So when we click on it and click on the gear icon, we can see header scroll settings. So do you want to have the header displayed at all times, also when people scroll down? Or maybe you can also have it scroll out of sight when people scroll down on the website. Maybe you want to have it disappear, or maybe just fade out when people scroll down. So that's really up to you. What I would suggest is simply try out these options for yourself. Click on preview right here and then see what you think looks the best. So let's now move on to the footer of the website. So we're going to scroll down here where we get to the footer. And it doesn't really matter if we edit this footer on the services page or on the home page, because like I said, the footer is displayed on every single page, and all the changes we make here will also be applied on each single page. So all I'm going to do here is actually change the text from from what's written here to something that I want to have on my footer. Let's just change it to copyright by WIX Media. And obviously, you can add a lot more stuff here on your footer, like for example, site links that go to different steps on your website, whatever you basically want to. But I'm going to keep it basic here and just leave it here as it is. And then also you have your social links by default in the footer. So if you want to have them here, you want to basically change them by clicking on it, go to set social links. And then here you're going to be able to set the link to your Facebook page, the link to your Twitter page. So basically just go here and then change the link to whatever your social media link is. So for me, it would be WIX Media for the Twitter. And you can also add more social links by clicking on add icons here. And then maybe also add your YouTube channel or your Instagram, your TikTok, whatever you want to. Make sure you change the links. And then the links, when people click here, they will actually go to your social media channels. All right, so now that we have set up our header with our nav bar and our logo and also the footer, we can move on and kind of edit the content of the different strips on our website. So we're going to start here on the home page again. So I'm going to switch to the home page. And now I'm just going to show you a couple of examples of what you can do. Obviously, your website is going to look different, so you're just going to have to play around yourself. But I'm just going to show you a couple of things, how you can add some elements, how you can move things around, and just a couple of tips along the way. So for example, let's say I want to add a call to action button right here under this text. So first I noticed that I don't really have space here. So what I'm going to do is just move things around a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is move this strip a little bit to the bottom right here like this. Then I noticed that I need to maybe also increase the size of this image a little bit, maybe like this. And then also drag down, stretch out this part of this strip right here like this. And just like that, I have now space for my button. As you can see, it's just kind of playing around with it a little bit, and then eventually you'll probably find the solution to what you want to do, because it is a really intuitive editor. So let's say we want to add a button right here. So we're going to add an element. Every time you want to add something, you just go to the plus sign here on the left side, click on add, and then you have an entire library of what you can add to your page. So in this case, I want to add a button. So I'm going to hover over the button right here. And then you have multiple different buttons. Now here on the theme buttons, you have these 4 buttons, which is specifically made for the theme of your current website with the colors and everything. So I usually just use these buttons right here. So I'm going to simply use this black button right here. Then it will automatically put it on my website. I can drag it down, make sure it's centered, maybe also increase the size a little bit like this. And maybe again, make sure it's centered. And that looks pretty good. I would actually increase the font of this button. So I'm going to go to layout right here. Then I'm going to go to text, and I'm going to increase the font size maybe to a 20, and also change the color. No, actually I'm going to leave the color. So that's pretty much it. Then obviously I want to change the text from button to, let's say, contact us. So I'm going to go to change text and icon, and change the text to contact us. And then obviously I also have to add a link to this button, because otherwise nothing will really happen when we click on this link. So here is just the option to add a link, or you can also click on the button and then go to this link icon right here, and then this menu will open up. Now, obviously you can link to many different things. In this case, I want to link to a specific strip on this homepage, because the Contact Us section is not really a separate page on this website. It's actually a part of my homepage, which is right here. So what I want to do is I want to have it, when people click on this button, that it automatically scrolls down to this section. And the way we do that is by using a so-called anchor on our page. And as you can see here, the anchor is already installed right here. So I'm just going to delete this anchor real quick so I can show you how to set this up manually. So when we want to have anchors on our website, we're going to go to the plus sign to add something to our page. In this case, you would have to go to the menu right here, go to anchors, and then simply drag the anchor to the part you want to have it. So I want to have it just right here over the Contact Us section. And then I have to give the anchor a name. So I'm going to name it Contact Us, obviously. Contact Us. And then I have created a new anchor, and now I can go back to my button, go to link right here, and now I'm going to choose anchor, and I'm going to have it which anchor on this page. So I'm going to choose the Contact Us anchor, which is the only one that we have. We're going to click done. And now when we go to preview and we click on this button, it will automatically scroll down so that the anchor is on the top of our website, and it will scroll down to the Contact Us section. So this is exactly what I wanted to do with this button. What you could also do is link this button to another page of your website. For example, this button right here, we could simply click on it, go to link, and then we could link it to a page. So here, click on page, and then choose the page that you want to link it to. Here it's already set to services, because this box is representing our services. Now, if you want to delete an entire strip on your page, what you can do is either just click on the strip, go right click and then click on delete, and that will delete the entire strip from your page. And as you can see, we have kind of a hole in our website that we obviously want to close. And the way I usually do that is by simply going to this icon right here, zoom out and reorder, and then we will see the macro view of our website. We can see the hole right here. And what I'm going to do here is simply drag this next strip up to this strip right here, and just like that we have the hole closed. So we can click on exit mode, and now we are back in our main editor. Then let's scroll down a bit and maybe move on here with the About Us section. Let's say we want to add an image of ourselves here to the About Us section. Again, all we would have to do to add an element is go to add on the left side. Then I'm going to choose image right here, go to my image uploads. And in this case, I would just add an image of myself, click on add to page. And then I'm going to just make it a bit smaller by dragging out the edges and placing it here. Obviously, I have to also decrease the size of this paragraph right here. Just make it like this. And also, we can center both of them here in the middle. And obviously, I also have to maybe put this here. So I can just simply drag out everything here on your canvas. And you can also edit everything by simply clicking on the element, and then you have all the options right here. So for example, we could change the design. We can maybe give it a round frame like this. And you could also maybe add a filter to this image by maybe making it black and white like this. So there's tons of things you can do by simply exploring it, by hovering over each element, and then you'll find out how everything works. Now, a cool thing I want to show you here with different text on your website is something called Get Text Ideas. So for example, let's say I am a fitness coach, then I could just simply click on Get Text Ideas, and then let's click on fitness coach. Let's just type in fitness coach, and then it automatically give me text ideas for different things on my website. So for example, the About Us section for a fitness coach, I could simply go to About, go to create text, and then it gives me an example text that I could use as a fitness coach on my website. For example, I believe living a healthy lifestyle begins with maintaining a strong and fit body, and so on. or this one right here, or this one right here. So I could simply click on use text, and then it will automatically put this text into this text block. So this is just a very cool feature that you can use to get some inspiration if you don't really know what content you should put on your page, what you should write about, your about section, and all that kind of stuff. So that's something I wanted to show you here. Again, everything, make sure it's aligned very nicely in the middle. You can also select multiple things by hitting Shift and then selecting multiple elements and then dragging them out so that they're actually centered here on your website. And then if you would want to add a new strip here on your website, you would also simply go to the Add button right here and now go to Strip. And then, for example, go to maybe Testimonials right here and maybe choose this one. And then it will automatically put this strip here on your website. Maybe you don't want to have this all the way to the bottom. So what I would do is go to Zoom Out and Reorder. And then you're going to have an easier way to view your strips. So I could just click on this little arrow icon and then it will automatically put this strip above this next one. I can simply also drag this around like this, however you want to. Then once it's sitting in the perfect position, just go to exit mode and then I can start editing everything right here. I can change the images, I can change the text, and so on. Then here on the bottom, you also have a contact us section. Here you just want to make sure to actually update the location to the location of your business or wherever you are located. So when you click on this little Google Maps application here, you can click on Manage Locations, and then you can change the location right here, and then it will automatically update this map to your location. And also don't forget to change your location right here. And in exactly the same way, you can obviously also change all the content on the other pages, like your About page, your Services page, and so on. And then once you're done with with all of your pages on the desktop view, you also want to make sure to actually go inside of the mobile view and make sure everything looks nice there as well. So most of the time, there's not too much you need to do, but some spacing problems is something that I face a lot here. For example, right here, you can see that the logo is kind of centered, and I actually want to have it here on the left side, then the menu icon right here, and then maybe drag this a little bit, make it smaller like this. And then maybe also here we need some more space. So let me just drag this down a little bit, drag this out as well. And everything you change here on mobile is only going to change here on the mobile version. So whenever you change back here, then everything is exactly the same as before. So that's pretty cool. So you definitely want to change everything here first on the desktop version and then switch over to mobile and make sure everything is lining up perfectly on mobile as well. So most of the templates that you're going to use here from the ad options right here, they are already optimized for mobile, so there shouldn't be a lot of work that you need to do on the mobile editor right here. Now, if something doesn't fit on the mobile version at all, what you can do is simply click on the element or even click on the strip and then click on hide element, and then the entire element will be hidden on the mobile version, but only on the mobile version, and on the desktop version, the element will still be visible. What you can also try to use is this page layout optimizer right here on the left side. So when you click on this and click on optimize page, then it should automatically optimize the page for you. But in my experience, a lot of the time it doesn't really work that well. So I usually just do it manually myself. And then you also have some specific mobile tools that is only available on mobile. For example, the back to top button, which is this one right here, where people can always just click on it and then they will automatically scroll all the way to the top. You also have a quick action bar, which will make it easier for people to call you, send you an email and stuff like that. Again, just play around with it and see what is useful for your specific website, and make sure also that each page, you go through each page here, and that each page is actually optimized for mobile as well. Awesome. So let's now say our website is actually finished and we're ready to publish our website. So the way we publish our website is to simply click on publish on the top right, and then it will automatically take our website live. And this currently, the link that you see here is the current link that people have to go to actually see our site. So when we click on view site right here, then it will take us to our website and we can actually test it out. We can scroll down, we can click on services, we can check out all the different pages. But the thing that's really not good here is that we have this little Wix advertisement here on the top. And we have also Wix site in our URL, which is not very professional at all. So what we have to do to actually put this site on our own domain, so for example, maddoxmedia.com or whatever your domain is, we're going to have to upgrade to a paid plan. So in order to do that, we have to click on upgrade right here, and then I'm going to quickly compare the plans for you and give you my recommendation of what I would choose. So I'm going to click on compare plans right here. So here we first want to make sure that we're actually on the website plans right here, because Wix also has plans for business and e-commerce websites, which are a bit more expensive. So as you can see, the cheapest plan is the Connect Domain plan. And basically all you can do with this plan is connect your own domain. But the disadvantage here is that this plan still includes the Wix ads that you can't really get rid of if you are on this specific plan. This is why I personally recommend to use this combo plan right here, because this will get rid of the Wix ads and will also enable you to put your website on your own domain. And it also gives you 2 gigabytes of bandwidth, which should be enough in the beginning for your website if you don't get too many visitors, and storage space 3 gigabytes and also 30 minutes of video hours. Video hours, in my opinion, is not that important because you can also embed your videos on your website and kind of host them on a platform like Vimeo or even YouTube. So this isn't really important to me. And so I would go for the combo plan, and then if at some point you get more visitors and you need more bandwidth, you can also go for the unlimited plan right here. So in this tutorial, I'm just going to choose the combo plan right here. And then you can decide on what kind of billing cycle you want to go for. Now, if you know that this website is the website that you're going to keep for at least 2 years, then you can go for the 2-year plan to save some money. Obviously, you're going to have to pay more in advance. Or if you don't really know if this website is going to work out, you can also simply go for the monthly plan and then pay each single month. This is what I'm going to do in this tutorial because I don't want to spend too much money, because this website is simply for demonstration purposes and I'm not really going to use it. So I'm going to choose monthly here, and then I'm going to click on continue to checkout. Then here we have to enter our credit card information and then click on submit purchase. And by the way, there's also a 14-day money back guarantee in all premium plans. So if after like 13 days you realize, okay, this is not going to be the thing that I want to have, then you can still send them an email and then they will send you a refund to your credit card. Then after you confirm, you will get to this page right here, which first is confirming that we are now premium and that we can actually put our site on our own domain. Now, if you already have a domain, you can simply click on connected here on the bottom. And if you don't already have a domain, then you can simply look for a domain using this search bar right here. Now, I would recommend to get a .com domain because it looks more professional, more official. A lot of the time you don't really get the domain that you want to with a .com, so maybe go for .co or .net, or maybe just choose another name altogether to really go for the .com domain. So you can just type in any names here that you think is good for your website. Let's just say I'm going to use Maddox Media Consulting. Consulting.com as an example and see if that's available, and that would be available. So I'm just going to click on get it right here, and then it will just guide me through how to purchase this domain. So I'm just going to go for the yearly plan right now because I'm not actually going to use this domain in the future. This is just for this tutorial. But if you want to keep this domain for a long time anyway, you can actually go for the 2 or even 3-year plan. So then I'm going to click on continue here. And then on this step, I would actually recommend to go for the private registration as well, because otherwise you're going to have a lot of spam emails going to your inbox, and your address is going to be publicly accessible and all that kind of stuff. Definitely not something you want to have. So definitely go for the private registration here and then click on continue. And there we go. This domain that we have just decided to go for is now assigned to my site. So I could just go here, copy this domain, and actually test it out by opening up a new tab, pasting it in the URL box. And as we can see, this domain is now pointing to the website that we have just built. And we can also test out everything if everything works. So that's awesome. Now, what I also want to take a quick look at is the dashboard of your new Wix website, which is here under settings and then all the way down my dashboard, which will take you kind of into the back office of your website, where you have a lot more information, where you have your analytics of your website, and also a lot more tools. So what I want to do here is quickly go into the settings here on the bottom left. And then what you want to do is go through each of these settings that you see here and make sure you fill out as much information as possible. For example, the website settings, when we click here, then first of all, we have to enter our site name. So let's say this is Madix Media Consulting. Then we can scroll down and here you can see the domain that it's currently on that we have just purchased before. Then something we also have to add is our favicon. A favicon is basically what you see up top here. This is kind of this small icon in your browser. So what I would do here is simply upload an image, actually add an image that I've already in my library, which is this one, for example. So I would simply choose your logo of your website. And then when we click save here on the top, and then when we go to our website, we can see that this logo is now here on the top, which makes everything look a lot more professional. Then you also have like this a general social image. When somebody shares your website on a social network like Facebook, then also an image will be displayed that you can choose here. So again, I would just choose my logo. So I'm going to choose this one right here. So that's all I would do here. So then we go back to the settings and also go to business information. Make sure you type in all your business information right here, your logo, your location, and all that kind of stuff. It really helps you getting ranked eventually on Google, and it makes it easier for people to find your actual website, especially when you have a local business. You want to have Google know where your business is located so that people will actually find your business and you get more customers through your website. And then the final thing I also want to mention is the SEO tool of Wix, which will help you index your website in the Google search engine and also rank your website so that people can actually find your website. So when we go to marketing and SEO right here, click on SEO tools, then we will get to the get found on Google tool. So you can just click on let's go right here, and then it will basically walk you through how to index your site on Google and also kind of what you have to change so that it's easier for people to find your website on Google. So I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm not going to walk you through this entire process, but it's actually very easy. Just click on start now, and then it will tell you exactly what you need to do to index your site and also to optimize your site for the Google search engine. So I hope this video was actually helpful to you getting started with the website builder Wix. If it was, I'd really appreciate if you click that thumbs up button down below. That would really help out my YouTube channel. Also, if you have any questions, leave them down below in the comment section and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Also, if you want to see more tutorials just like this one, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.